Vijay Rakesh is managing director and senior semiconductor analyst at Mizuho. Vijay, what's the impact or exposure to nickel in particular here?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Kelly. So yeah, for EV makers especially, nickel goes into the battery component. So that spike in pricing obviously does not affect anything near term because a lot of the contract for nickel were probably, or a lot of the buy for nickel was probably happened in the last 6 to 9 months. So, but it does impact pricing and production going forward. So we have seen EV makers raise pricing, but we also see supply side Indonesia and others talk about increasing nickel output as well. So you are seeing some supply come on from the rest of the geographies outside of Russia, but it does cost inflation across the board. Does affect pricing of cars, etc., in the supply chain. So,
and we're looking at the EV makers. Rivian's down 9% today, and NIO's down 14%. Even Tesla's lower, and Rivian's really struggling to kind of produce at scale. They just had to do a little bit of an about face on price hikes that would be for people who had already placed an order. What does all that tell you about their strength in this market?
Yeah, I think Rivian especially is in the right spot, right? I mean, they are doing SUVs and pickup trucks. If you look at auto sales in the U.S., 75–80% of auto sales in the U.S. is pickup trucks and SUVs. So they are in the right place. If you look at the last 10 years, SUVs and trucks have grown at a 9% CAGR. If you look at the broader sedan market, that's down at a 4% CAGR. So they're in the right spot. It's growing pains. I think if you roll this time back, when Tesla was in the very initial stages in 2012, 2013, it took them 6–9 months to get to 300–400 units a week of production on the sedan. So the SUV and pickup trucks, you can argue, slightly more complicated. They have much more, much more complicated production mechanisms there. So a little bit more complicated there. But again, this is growing pains. Yeah. We're in the right spot. It's a huge market, and we expect, longer term this to do very well. So.
This is not a knock at all on the cars, but I've always thought that this company went public at $100 billion and change, and that's. I think Tesla went public at a couple million, right? This is an order, many orders of magnitude different. It's going to take years. I mean, it could take their entire history as a publicly traded company to grow into that valuation.
Yeah, definitely. Tesla was a pioneer in the space. I mean, they had to do a lot of convincing, and all kudos to them to kind of, establishing a whole new paradigm, a whole new sector for the world and consumers to go after. I think Rivian definitely benefited from that. But what investors are looking at is longer term, where this market is going globally, right? It's going towards SUVs and pickup trucks. It's going towards EVs. Your global mandates, your consumer awareness, all tilted towards the EV side. So they're definitely benefiting from that. Now what they have to do is execute on that roadmap. And so we think, part of the strategy is having the right technology, having the right products. They are there. Now it's getting the pieces in place to start shipping product out, get the deliveries lined up. So,
quick final question, Vijay. What's the most important thing on the call tonight, or in the results?
Yeah, I think it will be how they feel about deliveries, production schedules, how they feel about how they see the registration side, and obviously the new product pipeline. Right, they first have to get the R1T and the R1S out, and then subsequently the next product rollout after that. So the immediate focus should be on deliveries and production schedules, and that will itself bring registrations back on the map. So
yeah, exactly. All right, Vijay, thanks for your time today. We'll leave it there for now. We appreciate it.